Okay. Hi, I'm Mattias Ljungström. I work with Andreas, who just moved over there. Spaces of Play, it's like a community or something of 4 people. Not really a company, but we work together to make games. And we have been working on a game called Spirits for almost a year now. And I wanted to give a short background to where the idea came from, and also talk a little bit about my own personal ideas about the game design. So I wanted to start out by showing a slide from a presentation that I did, like 3 years ago, just to show, because I've been thinking about game spaces and digital play spaces, not games, but play spaces. That is like digital spaces where you can play, and some of their basic properties for a very long time. And I did this at university. I don't do it anymore, but I still keep it as a strong inspiration for some of my games. And I think Spirit was very inspired by some of these thoughts. And this is one example, like how to analyze a very simple game space. You have a tension here, there's a stress making this jump, and then there's a success state, a relief when you get down. And not a lot of people like think about game spaces in this way. They're more like, oh, it's a nice tree, it's a beautiful lake, or whatever. But games actually have these functions in, when we play, and that they don't have the same functions as in our normal life outside in reality. Not that games are not real. I wouldn't say that. So just going to show some other examples here. I really enjoy looking at games from a bird view perspective, just trying to see the basic melody, structure, patterns. There's a lot of thoughts behind this. This didn't just happen by accident, and it's kind of cool to take a step back and think about this in a more abstract way, I think. So this was sort of the input, and I knew I wanted to do something with game spaces, but I also wanted to do something where player freedom and player creativity was important. And so here, for me at least, this game was sort of a very strong archetype in this genre of like player, space, freedom, creativity. I'm not saying it's the best game, I'm not saying, but it was quite strong. So it was a strong inspiration. And an early prototype of Spirits looked like this. Well, it was before I knew that we were making Spirits, actually. And sort of wanted to show that here. Hopefully it works. Well, everything is so big here. So this was an iPhone app that I made like 2 years ago, something like that. It has like 200 ants walking around. You can't really do anything. It was more like a, I don't know, a not game, I guess. I wanted to make this into a game in 1 month. That was the plan. And then we did Mr. Bounce, actually. So I didn't do it. After we did Mr. Bounce, we had a couple of conclusions from that. I'm not going to go into that. But I also started working with Marek Plichta in Berlin, and he liked this idea. You see, now they're walking upside down to the left here. He liked this idea, basic idea, but he hated ants. Like he was, I don't think people want to touch ants on the screen. It's like creepy. So we have to do something else. So I said, okay, like you come up with something, and that he did. We talked a little bit about inspirations. And in the meantime, let's see. So what he came up with was something that looked like this. You can see very much here, so I'm going to try to show running version instead. So this was the first version of the game, and it wasn't really the first version, but it was the first version where we had made like sort of the first iteration on the graphics. And so we had these ghosts, we had some kind of wind here that was like blowing the characters, and that was about it. So we really liked this, or I really liked this, so we kept working in that direction. And let's see, but we also realized that it wasn't really like enough for everyone. So let's see if I can enter here. Okay. So here we have added a bit more graphics. We changed the character into more of a leaf-like character, and this actually came from the thing that we actually added the wind, and then it didn't feel really right that you had ghosts walking in the wind, so we made the head into a leaf instead. And there's still like a lot of things missing here, and I was still thinking like, let's finish this now, we can like ship this in 3 weeks or something. It's almost ready. But luckily Mark was a little bit more pushing the limits, and so we kept working on this, like not really completely sure where we were going. But we ended up somewhere here.